So you are, yeah. So I guess like the usually the format of the interview I usually do is we spend 3 minutes to for introductions, so just get to know a little bit about um, jump into some coding sessions, and then at the end we have 5-10 minutes. If you want to ask any questions, um, we can do that. Sounds good.
Yep, that sounds good.
Cool. So I guess I'll go first. So my background is in computer vision. So I finished my PhD like a couple of years ago, and then I actually worked for a year as well
Okay.
in Sunnyvale. Yeah, and then joined around like a year and a half ago. So I've been in the metric engine team to work here as a research scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? It looked like you. Well, do you have the link to the?
Yeah, I have the link
Uh,
open.
okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, I see you there as well. Feel free to select the language that you're most comfortable with.
Okay, so I'll pick Python.
Yeah, okay, Python's great. Okay, let's do like maybe like a warm up
Okay.
questions. Yeah, just copy and paste this. So if you have that, so I'll just copy a couple of input topics. Okay, so this is the questions. Feel free to take a look and ask me any question that you might have.
Okay. So given an array of intervals, or intervals I was to start and merge all overlapping intervals and return an array for the non-overlapping interval and cover all intervals. All right. So I guess the first question I asked, looking at the examples, can we assume the input will be sorted already?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me
It is
make a note of
obviously.
that. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is to sort the input. What else? Can we assume there will be at least one interval in the input?
Yeah.
Okay. At least one interval in inputs. Okay, what else? Okay, that's the main thing that sticks out to me. So I guess for my approach, so first I want to sort the input. And after I sort, let me say sort the intervals. I sort the
So
intervals.
why do you want to short it?
Pardon?
So why would you want to short it?
Because if I don't sort it, you can imagine a situation where, if you look on the second example, if I had put, let's say, 5, 6 here, then it becomes more complicated to know if there's another interval that already starts at 5 if it's not already sorted. Because then I'd have to take each interval and then I have to compare it with every other interval in the list, and that would be a O of n squared solution. So I imagine to optimize that, I can make it n log n by sorting and then just going through with a first pass through the intervals list. Does that sound good?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll sort the intervals, iterate through the list of sorted intervals, and I'll have 2 pointers for comparing the 2 times. And in terms of comparing, I want to look at start time. So let me use some variables so it's easy to keep track. So SI, SI, where I is the first of the 2 intervals, and J is the second of the 2 intervals. So in that case, I want to look at, so SI, so start I is less than, so if start I is less than start J, look at SI is equal to start J. Look at E for end. So I'm going to have EI, EJ. So EI is equal to start this time. Oh wait, no, I don't want to do start. Yeah, SI is greater than SJ. All right, so in the case where start I is less than start J, that's good. So then you want to look at the end position. So you want to see that end I is also less than NJ. If both of those are true, add the first interval to output list and update two pointers to be next to. So now SJ would become S. That's good. Now, if SI is equal to SJ, so if the start for the first one is equal to the start for the second one, then you want to compare the ends. So if EI is less than EJ, then merge the two where new interval is SI and EJ. Else, if EI is greater than EJ, the interval is SI, SJ. And then the case where SI is greater than SJ, well, that would never happen because it's already sorted. So actually, let me get rid of that. So since it's sorted, never ever case where that SI. So okay, let me see if that covers all the situations. So SI is less than SJ, and you have SI is equal to SJ. That's what happens when it's sorted. And then you look at the endings. So if EI is less than EJ, then add the first. Else, if EI is less than or equal to, because if they're equal, then you still want to merge them. How does that look? And then after I compare, I just return merged intervals. Does that look reasonable?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so let me try and quickly code this. I define merge intervals, and it takes in intervals, which is this list of numbers. So
just curious, do you do typing as well?
Usually when I write Java, yes, but with Python, because I usually go for speed, I usually don't write typing. But when actual production code, I would. But for the short amount of time, I prefer not to. So let's say sorted intervals equals to sorted intervals. All right, so sort them, then iterate through the list. So let's say I equals to 0, j equals to 1. We don't want merged intervals. Equals to empty list. Return merged intervals. So while I is less than the length of intervals and j is less than length of intervals. Right, so let's say first interval equals to intervals I. Do same for second. Intervals j. And at the end, I'm going to want to I plus equals to 1, j plus equals to 1. All right, so compare. So I want to see if, all right, so if SI start, so we say SI equals to first interval 0. IJ is second interval 0. And we have end I 1 and nj is second interval 1. So let's see, what are my comparisons of SI? If SI is less than SJ, so now I want to check if end I is less than NJ. that's true, then add the first to the output list. So merged intervals that append first interval, and update the 2 points to be the next two. Okay, that one will happen automatically. So you add that one, you move them over. Let me do it strategically. And then we have else. If LEI is less than EJ, okay, so let's say, yeah, so if SI is less than, I forgot to mention that one. Else if EI is greater than or equal to EJ, if N1 is greater than or equal to, then I want to merge those with that N1 at the end. So I'll say merge intervals that append. I'll say do SI to list. SI if EI is greater than or equal to EJ, then you want EI. Otherwise, if EI is less than, you add that one, move the two. Otherwise, you merge them, and then you just skip over. So we'll say that you merge them, you want to skip over. So I plus equals to, you want to do 2 because you want to jump the next J, move to the next one, and similarly for J. And if these go out of bounds, the while loop should catch that. Probably will be an edge case if it's an odd number, but I'll get to that later. Let me make a note of it. Potential edge case based on size of input. So I'll come back to this to do. And then, so else. So now we're SI is equal to SJ. So now I want to check if EI is greater than or less than or equal to EJ. So if they're equal and the EI is less than EJ, well, if they're equal, I just care about whichever other one is biggest. I can just take the max of the two anyway. So I don't need to complicate that with any more if statements. So merge. So it'd be SI, and then we take the max of EI and EJ. Okay, so now you merge those, and then you want to skip over again. So similar to here, it's probably a better way to skip over and doing a +2. This should be J. And then I just return. So I know there's probably going to be a bug since I'm doing +2, and there'll probably be an out of range error, but I just want to test some examples if that's okay, so I can make sure the base is working.
Sure, yeah.
All right, so let me call this merge intervals. Let me say test1 equals, use what's up here, then test2 is equals here. I'll do one that's not sorted. Test3. Let me add in, okay, what would be here? Oh, actually, that's one that already not sorted. Could I added this in here. So let me put it back to being 1, 4, 4, 5, and 5, 6. All right. Was not closed. Oh, I see. There we go. So let me run all these, print. So test 1, test 2, S3. All right, let me see what it's currently doing. Function object has no attributes. Merchantable. Append. The screen is cutting off. Okay, append. It's a list. Oh, it's a name error. Merged intervals. There we go. All right, so we have 1, 3, 2, 6, 8, 10. All right, there we go. So catch the error I figured. Then we have 1, 4, 1, 5. Well, let me fix this. So let's see. 1, 4, 4, 5. All right, so that one should be 1. So if the n1, SI 1 is less than 4, that's true. So now 4 is less than 5, that's true. So add, oh, so that one, 4 is less than that. So this one I should have SIEJ. Then 2, else SIEY, this one should be 1. 1, 6, 8, 18. Oh yeah, because I have to check to make sure that the next end is still smaller than. All right, so that fixed the 1, 5. So let me see. So if you have 1, 3, 2, 6, 8, 10, so you get to 1, 8. Then you want to make sure that, say you do 1, 3, that's good. 1, 3, because the 2 is between those, you do 1, 6. And you get 1, 6. And you go to 8, 10, 8, 10, 1, 6. Okay. So I have to make sure that's in between them. So if SI is less than SJ.
Can we slow down for a bit? So let's just walk by hand for the first example. How would the output, the merge interval would look like at each step? Like, so you go I and J, right? So for each loop, how would that supposed to look like? Okay, that's one.
So it'd be 1, 3, and it'd be 1, 6 because the 2 intersects with them. And then you have 8, 10, and then you'd have 1, 6, and it looks at 8, 10. It would still be.
Can we go like walk through
yeah,
each
on line 8. I'm walking through it step by step. Or is there something?
Line 8. Oh,
yeah. So 1, 6, 8, 10, 15. Then the next again they're the same, and then on the third you do 1, 6, and you'd see 10, 15. Yeah, it would stay the same.
So what are like the I and J in each of those cases?
So the I.
Yeah.
So SI equals 1, 3. And SJ equals to 2, 6. Then you merge them, and that's why you get the 1, 6. And similarly, in my code, if I merge them, let me see what gets merged. You have 1, 3, 2, 6 gets 1, 6. So you take the first and the second, so SIEJ. So this plus 2, that would end up being this, and then this. And then this becomes 15, 8. So 8, 10, 15, 8. So if you had 8, 10, 15, 8, actually I see what it is. So if I something that, and if it's this and that, if EI, let's say SJ is less than EI, then you just add them in. It's I, SJ, EJ, skip over. So let's see, 1, 3. So I didn't get the 2, 6. So if SJ, that's 3, is less than 2, it's not, because I don't have the else. If EI is less than that, let's see, we had a print statement. Print I, SJ. So 1, 2, 3. So that's SJ. Actually, let me do the first intervals.
I think you moved the I and J too fast now.
Pardon?
It looked like you're moving the I and J too quickly.
Yeah, I figured that would be the error, but I want to figure out how to fix it by going through the example. 2, 6, 1, 3, 2, 6. 2, 6 doesn't get added. So let's see if SI is less than SJ. If SJ is less than EI, it's not. If SJ is greater than or equal to EI, then you want to merge them. Greater than or equal to EI. So if SJ is less than EI, and SI is less than SJ, then SJ is less than EI is good. If SJ is greater than or equal to EI, then you want to do SJ. So 1, 3, 2, 6, 6, 8, 15. Let's see. If SJ is greater than or equal to EI, margin of all is a pound. Okay, let me put all these. So if you're going through, and that is less than that, that'll always be less than that. So you want to look at the end position. Yeah, so the start doesn't matter, because that one's always smaller than it. So it's the end that you care about. So SJEI. So if SJ is, so if SJ is smaller than that, smaller than EI, greater than EI, and SJ is less than or equal to EJ. So if you're between, that's between it in any way, you want to merge them. So you would SI all the way up to, actually, someone keep
So what is that condition? Was SJ larger than EI and SJ smaller than EJ?
So because it's sorted, the start will always be smaller or equal to the other one, so you don't really need to check that in the if statement. So I'm trying to simplify the if logic by trying to find where it has a overlap, and then you want to merge them. Otherwise, if there's no overlap, you can just add them. So if SJ.
So there's a quick test for to know if it's overlap or not. So if
an overlap is
if EI is larger than SJ, then it's not overlap.
Yeah, I mean, there are different ways you can check it, but since I'm writing code, I'm trying to think as I write the code. So if you have SJ greater than EI and SJ, then you want to merge them. Say, you start at SI and you go up to, so SJ is greater than EI and less than or equals to EJ. So that one's true. If, let's say SJ is less than EI, so right away, if you know that's n, then you just add the two of them. SI, EI, SJ. Well, you can't add SJ yet because it might merge with the other one. So that might have been an issue. You can add SI, EI. Else. So if SI, let's see, SI is greater than that one, if it's equal to it. If SJ is equal to EI, SJ is equal to EI, then you can just, same thing here, then it's greater than or equal to. 616. So you want to do that. I start set as that. Probably could just add it first. Yeah, it's probably the easier thing to do. So equals 0. And then SI always starts out. This last one. So I need 2 pointers. J. Current should always be what's currently in.
I think we can stop the technical session here.
Okay.
I think cool. Let me copy and paste this just to make sure. Okay. Let's see. Do you have any question for me?
No questions.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I think the recruiter will reach out to you now.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. See ya.
All right. Thanks.